Okay, so let's talk about generative AI. It's not just a new tool, it's completely tearing up the playbook for filmmaking. And while the industry's caught up in this massive revolution, you gotta wonder, are the film schools that are supposed to be training the next generation of creators getting left in the dust? Let's find out if they can keep up.
Which brings us to the big, kind of scary question. Is a film degree, as we know it today, already obsolete? I mean, it sounds dramatic, right? But with technology changing at light speed, it's a question we absolutely have to ask.
And that question, well, it throws a spotlight on a pretty big problem, which brings us to our first section. The curriculum itself is in a state of crisis. There's this massive, growing gap between how films are actually being made and how film schools are teaching people to make them.
So, here's the deal. The pros, the big studios, they're jumping on AI like there's no tomorrow. They're using it for everything from storyboarding to final VFX. But then you look at the universities, and a lot of them are still teaching the old ways, the classic tools, tools for a world that's kind of fading in the rearview mirror.
And this, right here, just lays it all out in black and white. On one side, you've got the industry reality. AI workflows, collaborating with algorithms, automating huge chunks of post-production. On the other side, the university curriculum, which is often stuck on mastering manual skills. See, this isn't just a small gap. We're talking about a massive canyon between what the industry needs and what the schools are teaching.
You know, there's actually a term for this: competency mismatch. It's exactly what it sounds like. The skills you're learning don't match the skills the jobs require. And for a film student, wow, that's a huge deal. Imagine graduating, all fired up, only to find out you've been trained for an industry that has already moved on.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Because even with all its flaws, and trust me, AI has them, filmmakers are already figuring out these super clever ways to work with it, and sometimes to work around its biggest problems.
So, what is that biggest flaw? The one thing that just keeps tripping up pretty much every AI video model out there right now?
It's one thing, really: visual consistency. It's the AI's struggle to keep a character looking the same shot after shot, or an object staying put. Like an actor's shirt might just change color mid-scene, or a coffee cup might appear and disappear. For telling a coherent story, well, it's a nightmare.
So, people have been looking at all these new AI short films, and what's cool is they're seeing three main strategies pop up to deal with this exact problem. Think of them as circumvention, absorption, and correction. Let's dig into what that means.
First up, let's take a look at the film Voices. This one is a great example of circumvention. Basically, it sidesteps the problem entirely. It uses a documentary style with these really short, fast cuts between interview clips. That means the AI never has to keep a character looking consistent for more than a few seconds, so the technical flaw isn't a flaw anymore, it's a part of the film's DNA. Super smart.
All right, now on the flip side, you've got a film like One More Pumpkin. This one uses the absorption strategy. It just leans right into the weirdness. It's a horror film, right? So all those bizarre, unstable, distorted images the AI kicks out, that's not a bug, it's a feature. That glitzy, unsettling look becomes the core of the horror.
And our third strategy is correction, which we see in the film Airhead. Here, the idea is that the AI-generated footage is just the starting point. It's raw material. A human editor then comes in, cleans it up, fixes the mistakes, and shapes it into the final story. It's a real partnership. The AI provides the clay, and the human artist sculpts it into the final masterpiece.
Okay, so what does all this tell us about being a filmmaker tomorrow? What's clear is that these workarounds aren't just clever trucs. They're pointing to a whole new set of skills that filmmakers need to have. The job is changing under our feet.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Everyone's talking about prompt engineering, but that's just scratching the surface. The real skill is becoming a collaborator with the machine. It's about being a director for your new AI partner. And you can kind of break this new job down into three key roles. First, you got to be the strategic director, setting the vision. Then, you're the aesthetic curator, sifting through hundreds of AI-generated shots to find the one perfect gem. And finally, you're the technical finisher, the one who cleans up the AI's mess and polishes it to perfection.
You see, this is a massive mental shift. If you just think of AI as a new camera or a new editing software, you're totally missing the boat. It's like learning a whole new language. You can't just use the grammar from your old one and expect it to work. It needs a new approach.
So we've got this huge competency mismatch, and we have this demand for brand new skills. So what does that mean for film schools? Well, it leads to one place, really. And this isn't just a guess. It's backed up by actual research on how people and industries adopt new tech.
So the study this is all based on uses something called a technology acceptance model.
Sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. It boils down to two things. Is this new tech useful, and is it easy to use? If the answer is yes to both, then buckle up, because change is coming, and it's coming fast.
So when you apply that model to filmmaking and AI, you see this chain reaction. Step 1. The industry starts using AI because, let's be honest, it's super useful. It makes things way faster and way cheaper. Productivity goes through the roof.
Okay, so now that everyone's way more productive, what happens? Step 2. Suddenly there's a massive demand for people with these new collaborative skills we've been talking about. The director, the curator, the finisher. Having those skills isn't a bonus anymore. It's the ticket to get in the door.
And that demand, well, it doesn't just stay in the industry. That's step 3. That wave of change crashes right on the shores of academia, making a new curriculum, one focused on human-AI collaboration, an absolute, non-negotiable must-have for survival.
So when you put it all together, the research points to one single, unavoidable conclusion: film schools need a reboot. A fundamental, urgent reboot if they want to stay relevant and actually prepare their students for the world that's waiting for them.
And all of this brings us to one final, really big picture thought that goes way beyond the classroom. It's about the future of creativity itself.
So I want to leave you with this question. When an AI can come up with the shot, generate the footage, maybe even edit the scene, what does it mean to be a creator? Maybe the answer is that the things that make us human, our taste, our vision, our judgment, our ability to tell a compelling story, those things don't become obsolete. They become more valuable than ever.